Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so glad you could join us for this very important video. We've got some truly exciting news today, and if you're someone who's dependent on Social Security benefits, whether that's for retirement, disability, or supplemental security income, then you'll definitely want to stick around for this update. The government has just announced something huge. You guessed it, there's a special relief payment coming your way, and it could be as much as $4,400. This is a one-time lump sum payment designed to help ease the financial burden many Americans are feeling due to rising costs, inflation, and just the general struggles we've all been facing over the last few years. But the question on everyone's mind is, are you eligible for this relief? How do you apply? And when can you expect the money to arrive in your bank account? In today's video, we're going to break it all down. So, grab a coffee or whatever your go-to drink is, and let's dive right into all the details. Make sure to stay until the end, because I've got some helpful tips on how to check your eligibility and how to make sure you get your payment on time. Alright, let's talk about the big news. What exactly is this $4,400 relief payment, and where is it coming from? If you're one of the millions of people who receive Social Security benefits, you know how important this payment could be for helping you stay afloat in today's economy. Whether you rely on Social Security for retirement, disability support, or other needs, this payment will provide crucial financial assistance. It's no secret that the cost of living has increased across the board. Prices at the grocery store, gas stations, and medical expenses have all skyrocketed in recent years, leaving many people feeling the pressure to stretch their budgets as far as they can. This new special relief payment, which totals $4,400, has been introduced as a direct response to those rising costs. It's designed to give people a bit of breathing room, whether it's helping to pay for medical bills, household utilities, or just daily living expenses. This relief is a one-time, lump sum payment. That means you'll receive it in a single payment, which could be a huge help when trying to pay down debts or get caught up on important bills. Unlike some other programs that offer ongoing assistance, this payment is meant to give you that immediate financial cushion to ease your worries about the next few months. The idea behind this relief is to give you more control over your finances and make sure that the people who need it most, like those relying on Social Security, receive the help they deserve. Now, let's address the question everyone is wondering: am I eligible for this $4,400 relief payment? Eligibility for the payment isn't universal. There are specific criteria you need to meet to qualify, and that's something you need to be aware of before getting your hopes up. First and foremost, the payment is only available to those who are currently receiving Social Security benefits. This includes people who are getting Social Security retirement benefits, Social Security disability benefits, or supplemental security income, SSI. If you've ever qualified for any of these benefits, you're on the right track. However, the next piece of the puzzle is income. While the government hasn't released the exact numbers yet, there are expectations that this payment is aimed at individuals who are facing financial difficulty. This means there will likely be income caps in place to determine who qualifies for the full $4,400 and who might get a reduced amount based on their income levels. So, even if you're receiving Social Security, the amount you receive might depend on how much other income you have coming in. Those with lower incomes may get the full payment, while those with higher incomes could get a reduced amount, or in some cases, not be eligible at all. Another thing to keep in mind is residency. To qualify for this special relief, you need to be a U.S. citizen or a legal resident. If you're living outside the country, there might be different rules and limitations that apply. Be sure to check in with the Social Security Administration, SSA, if you're living abroad or unsure about your residency status. And last but not least, if you've had any recent changes to your personal information, whether it's a change of address, a new bank account, or a different contact number, it's essential to update that information with the SSA. If you don't keep your records up to date, you could face delays or complications when it comes time for the payment to be processed. So, now that we know the basics of eligibility, let's talk about the timeline. When can you expect to see this relief payment in your account? The government has set an official target for payments to begin by March 2025, and they aim to have the majority of payments sent out by June 2025. If you're someone who has signed up for direct deposit, you'll likely receive your payment faster, but if you're still receiving paper checks, it could take a bit longer. The government is working hard to ensure that these payments reach the people who need them most, so once the first wave of payments goes out, you should see the relief trickle down to everyone else in the following months. It's worth noting that these dates aren't set in stone, so there may be delays due to processing or additional checks along the way. If you're feeling anxious about whether you'll get your payment on time, the best thing you can do is make sure all your information with Social Security is correct. Whether that's through the direct deposit option or checking your mailing address for paper checks, double-checking these details will make sure there's no holdup when it's time for you to receive your payment. So, by now, you probably have one big question on your mind: how much exactly will I receive from this relief payment? As I mentioned earlier, the amount you can expect to get is up to $4,400, but how much you actually receive will depend on several factors. Let's say you're someone who's been receiving Social Security benefits for a long time, and you don't have other significant sources of income. In that case, you could be eligible for the full $4,400. This is great news if you're really struggling with rising costs. But for others who might have a higher income or larger Social Security benefits, there's a chance you could receive a reduced payment. Now, the specific guidelines on how the payments will scale are still being finalized, but it's likely that the full payment will go to those with lower total incomes, especially those who rely almost entirely on Social Security for their day-to-day living. So, the more you rely on Social Security, the more likely you are to see that full payment. For those with other income sources or higher Social Security payments, it's still possible to receive some level of relief, though it may not be the full $4,400. If you're in that category, don't worry, any amount of assistance is still going to be a help, and I'm sure it will make a difference in your financial situation. Now, I know many of you are wondering, how can I apply for this relief? The good news is, if you're already a Social Security recipient, you won't need to submit a new application for this payment. You don't need to fill out any forms or do anything extra to get your money. If you're eligible, you'll automatically be considered for the payment based on your current Social Security records. However, there are a few things you can do to make sure everything runs smoothly. First, and most importantly, make sure that all your personal information with Social Security is up to date. If you've recently moved, changed bank accounts, or updated your contact information, you'll want to ensure that everything is current. This is crucial because if the SSA can't reach you or deposit the money into your account, your payment could be delayed or even missed. For those who are still receiving paper checks, make sure your address is correct and up to date with the SSA to avoid any potential delays in receiving your relief payment. Also, I highly recommend setting up direct deposit if you haven't already done so. Direct deposit is the fastest and safest way to get your money, and it ensures you won't have to wait for a check to arrive in the mail. Before we wrap up, there are a few important things to keep in mind. While this $4,400 payment is certainly a welcome relief for many, there are a few things you'll want to keep in mind. First, make sure you understand the potential tax implications. The IRS considers these relief payments to be taxable income, so it's a good idea to speak with a tax professional to understand how this payment might affect your tax filing for the year. Another point to remember is that this payment isn't guaranteed for everyone. The Social Security Administration is working hard to get this relief out to as many people as possible, but there may be unforeseen delays or complications along the way. If you don't receive your payment on time, don't panic. Check your records, make sure everything is updated, and reach out to the SSA if necessary. Lastly, while this payment is a big deal, remember that it's just one form of financial assistance that you could be eligible for. The government offers other programs designed to help with food, housing, healthcare, and more. So, if you're struggling financially, make sure you're taking full advantage of all the resources available to you. So, that's everything you need to know about the new $4,400 special relief payment for Social Security recipients. I hope this video helped clear up any questions you might have had. If you're eligible, get ready for that much-needed boost to your finances, and don't forget to double-check your personal information with Social Security so you get your payment without any issues. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button, share it with anyone who might need to know about this relief, and leave a comment if you have any questions. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this and whether you think this is a good step toward supporting Social Security recipients. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out on breaking news like this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.